Alabama going to Missouri. It's just like because this is the Indiana Oregon week and it's Cotton Bowl, right? Like I don't know. This game's obviously not being swept underneath the rug, but like with all the other games, you know, winner of this game is in the driver's seat for the college football playoffs. I mean, you have two of the best offensive coordinators in the SEC, if not in college football right now, going head to head. Kirby Moore taking interviews at the Arkansas job. Ryan Grubb, all of a sudden with Ty Simpson, looking phenomenal. All right, Jam Miller coming back for Alabama. All of a sudden, they got a run game for the first time in how many years without Jalen Milroe being a focal point of it? I mean, sure, no Quay Rousseau for Alabama, right? Obviously, you didn't need him last week. Uh, Giving up explosives for Alabama, I think, has been an issue, especially in the run game. Is that going to be an issue, CD, against Missouri and Ahmad Hardy, who is balling?
It certainly could. I'll throw Jamal Roberts in there, and then obviously you have to consider what Bo Pribula has with his legs as well. I mean, I think if you're Bama fans, every time you close your eyes, it's almost like you see Gus Malzahn and Tommy Castellanos doing their thing against you. Like Missouri, I think sees that script now. If you're Alabama fans, like what gives you comfort at night is that you've seen Kane Womack 2 straight weeks from now play an athletic quarterback, a dangerous quarterback with their legs, and have a nice answer for that. Not only did you finally make halftime adjustments, but you've had a nice adjustment for that. You played disciplined, sound football. I will say though, and I love Vandy's coaching staff, right? Like there's a very good coaching staff here. Like you said, you talked about with the OC and Drink too for Missouri. They're going to come out, I think, humming. They had a bye week in Massachusetts their past 2 weeks. So they're coming. They saved some stuff. They got some real nice stuff. I think Bama's going to get their best shot. Bama's also, this is the third straight game playing a ranked opponent. What's really nice if you're Alabama is you're playing a noon start on the road. I think if you went into Columbia, I think in the afternoon slot or in the evening slot, I think it's a little bit different environment. Obviously, Missouri's going to be fired up to play. Like the crowd will be fired up. No doubt about that. I do kind of like that for Alabama there. You talked about explosive plays Bama's giving up. Missouri, going back to that South Carolina game, what they did so well was stop the run. But then you let receivers go deep. You had tight ends running free against Lenore Sellers in South Carolina. And I understand that Sellers brings a different dynamic running the football, and you have to play him differently than you have to play Ty Simpson. Obviously, you respect Ty Simpson in his legs, but Simpson's arm is what scares you at night, right? If you're Missouri and that defensive staff, that has to stop because Bama has a really freaking good quarterback, maybe the best in the country, and B, a really solid set of wide receivers and an offense coordinator and an offensive staff that's putting together some really fine game plans in what they've had so far, and a running game for Alabama that finally started going. You saw healthy Jam Miller get plenty of carries, right? And they got a couple other fun wrinkles. Obviously, the big boy Caden Proctor getting involved there with all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in this game. I think Missouri was a team. I think you and I maybe were a little bit lower on in this offseason than we probably should have been. And yeah, boy, oh boy, is this a good one here. This for Missouri is a massive test, I think, compared to the rest of their schedule. Kansas, I think, is a very respectable win. I thought they were impressive in that. Bama will be it's different in own right challenges, but you talked about driver's seat for college football playoffs. How about the SEC too? I mean, if you're Missouri, you're looking at down your schedule, man, and you're seeing a lot of winnable football games for sure. Alabama has to take care of business in their own right, and they got a couple of tough games ahead of them, no doubt about that. But this is another one. This is another one here. Very excited here. If I had to pick one, we'll pick this at 3. I think what the line's at. When we're recording this Tuesday night, I'm gonna go Bama -3. And boy, oh boy, do I hate doing that. I don't feel great about it in this spot on the road, man. On the road. Obviously, it was nice getting that monkey off your back against Georgia in Athens, but this will be another good test for you. Another good test.
Yeah, I'll be with you right there. I think This is the week that Caden Green was projected to be back, right after he went down with injury. Whether he plays, I think that's still up for speculation. I think if he plays, that's a big deal. All right, that is a huge deal. Definitely an added bump to that Missouri offensive line. Jam Miller being back, the story that I learned from this past weekend was that that is a big deal. That was a way bigger deal than I thought it was going to be. Alabama, are you at all worried, CD, about these Missouri edge rushers? I mean, Dane Wilson, Zion Young, combined for 43 pressures so far this year. They are playing out of their minds. Serious improvement. Now, they've taken advantage in some games of some very poor offensive tackle play. I don't know that you're necessarily going to have poor offensive tackle play when you're playing against Alabama. You could in any given spot. Ty Simpson, a guy in a lot of this offense, right? You do need a good offensive line because you are developing routes downfield. Ty Simpson, average time to throw over 3 seconds. That's one of the slowest in the SEC. Does this edge group for Missouri at all concern you?
If you're Alabama, I mean, yeah, I mean, and even you talked about them beating up on potentially some bad competition. Like even then, like metrically, they're still top 30 with like your some of your advanced analytics, defensive ratings, all that kind of opponent adjusted stuff. So like, they're still a very good defense, very talented. I think another year with this coaching staff, Blake Baker, the effects of him leaving, I think, are a little bit lessened. You bring some talent in there that you've hit on some guys. So yeah, I mean, obviously if you're Bama, you've seen like you've struggled at times that offensive line, like and especially like they're big athletic dudes, but sometimes like they don't get it done. They don't move piles and they don't keep Simpson upright. If Simpson's running around, that's not where you want to be. If you can't run the football, that's not where you want to be. Relying on your defense to make stops over and over again against a talented Missouri defense is not great. It's not great.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with you. I think I'm going to take Alabama. -3, not feel very good about it at all. Because there's a world out there where Missouri gashes this Bama defense. Not because this Bama defense is not talented, but because they've gotten caught in the explosive play department like multiple times. Also, think about the game that they lost, all right, against Florida State offensively, right, in that first half, especially, okay? 19 pressures Florida State generated on Ty Simpson. 19, all right? These other teams that you're playing against, uh, Wisconsin, Georgia, Vanderbilt, they all only generated 9 pressures. While there's some talent for sure on those teams, they weren't able to get pressure generated on Ty Simpson. Like, what happens if they are able to do that? This is also one of the better metrically uh, run defensive oriented team. Like, they're incredible at stopping the run. They shut down Kansas's run game, right? Which is something that has been a calling card of these Lance Leipold offenses. It's been really interesting looks off play action. It has been an efficient passing game, but it's also been just gashing, speed outside zone run game, and it's been, yeah, it's incredible to watch, but something that Missouri completely shut down for them. So I think that there is a chance that Missouri absolutely wins this game at home, and I think that this is a very solid line. But I will be with you on Alabama -3.